Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. You get what you pay for with me, Robert Brown. I have something cool to show you. So I hope you're relaxing, staying dry. It's wet by me over here in western North Carolina. It's kind of soggy out there and gray. But what makes a gray day better? New knife day. That's right. I think I have this new thing I'm going to do. I'm going to ring the bell when I get a new knife. That's my little bell. See? Bell. Ding, 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 ding. So when I get a new knife, I'm going to ring that bell. And before I go any further with the new knife, I'm going to show you where it's going to live. If you guys haven't seen the video on this tool roll, it's really cool. It's really handy, and it holds 6 things, and they have to be within this length. This length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like no longer than 5 inches will fit inside here. So let me open this up, show you how this works. It's got a pull tabby right here. It says O light and O knife over there, and it's got a hook, an elastic cord, and you just unleash it from there, and then you have your 2 snaps at the corners. Really cool. And you can take this and just hang it up off of something if you wanted to. It's fancy. It's got this nice smooth surface here to protect your knives, and then to showcase them when you are looking at them and drooling over them, doing whatever you're doing with your knives. Anyway, here we go. I have some OTFs in here, and I have a slot that needs something. This right here is a flashlight, streamlight flashlight, and then I have a multi-tool over here. Multi-tool for anything over here I need to take apart. The only thing in this multi-tool over here, inside this little drawer, this does not have the T30 that would take these MICROTECs apart. Anyway, so let's start over here. So you might see a pattern forming here with these knives. I'll quickly open it up so you get the gist. Ah, yeah, that finish. That's so cool. So apocalyptic, or however you want to call it, it's really cool. It's like tumbled, or it's just a treatment, and it makes the knife blade look really interesting, and it gives it some character, and you don't have to worry about scuffs or scratches or anything on an EDC knife. It doesn't have to be pretty because you're going to use it, hopefully, and it's not going to sit in a tool roll in the corner. Mine doesn't. I use all these knives, and the reason I'm starting with this Recon is because I'm noticing that through my adventures in the OTF world, I keep on coming back to this Guardian Tactical Recon 035. This button and the action on it is the best. Hands down the best out of all the knives, and you can see through my channel, look at all the OTFs I've made videos of. I've done some stupid things and bought some clones and fakes, and that was a waste of money. And I apologize to the knife community. Actually, I just want to say that for wasting my money and not spending money on the real deal, but I learned my lesson. So, what I'm getting to is I'm getting used to the quality level and the precision that comes out of United States made OTFs. This one right here is made in Pennsylvania. Comes with a lifetime guarantee and also a lifetime sharpening program. Really cool. Magna Cut blade. So let's move on to the knife that started my OTF obsession. Now this is my MICROTECH Glycon, and it is that apocalyptic titanium. This is titanium up here and titanium over there, and titanium pocket clip. I love the finish, and it's got this unique kind of feel to it. The back spacer is also that finish. The button is also in the finish. It's so cool and feels, it adds a little extra grip actually to the metal, and you can feel it up in here. This is just normal aluminum down there, but you can feel it there. And then in the blade, it just looks amazing. This is the Bowler M390, and if you notice right there, it says M390, right? So the newer knives have an MK after that 390. So that MK, I kind of looked into the MK. Let me show you the MK before we go any further. So before I get ahead of myself, remember I was talking about the M390 and they added the MK? There it is. M390, so that's Bowler M390 MK. So the MK, like I said, I looked into that a little bit, and some people say it stands for MICROTECH knives. Do you think that's what it means, MICROTECH knives? Well, I don't know. I read around, I checked some forums, I checked this and I checked that, and I found that on the actual table, the table that Bowler, the company that makes the metal, they have they have this little MK on their table, and that is for cutlery, I believe. It says like knives and cutlery. I do believe that M and K is something that Bowler uses to state that the knife is used for something special. So in this case, I'm not 100%, but I think in this case, it's a little bit of both. MICROTECH, that's right, Tony at MICROTECH asked Bowler to tweak the metal. Tweak the metal meaning not just call it a different thing. They actually were like, well, what can we do to make M390 better? So they were like, well, we want better edge retention and we want it to be tougher. So they actually changed the formula a small amount, and they created this special blade material for MICROTECH. That's the MK. So if all you guys were wondering what that MK is, I'm not 100% sure, but I know for sure one thing, that it is made because Tony requested the metal to be tweaked. That's quote unquote tweaked. And they did. And so, you know, does it stand for MICROTECH Knives MK? I don't think so. I think the table and bowler had something to do with just stating that it was specially used for knife blades. That's my take. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I just had to add that in there before I went too far with the details on this blade. Just showing off my Glycon for you guys. So I recently picked up the MICROTECH UltraTech Zero Blade Play, and this is the nude. I like to call it the naked. It's naked aluminum, and this is like there's no finish there, so nothing can wear off. That's why I like it. Yeah, maybe it can get scratched, but it's only going to scratch down to that same color because there's no finish. So here we go. Look, here we go with my apocalyptic finish. This thing has been bumping and grinding on stuff in my pocket, and you can't even tell. It just looks like there are scratches there, it looks like they're meant to be there. So the blade, pop that out for you. There's that finish again. It's so sexy and effective. Like I said, effective meaning this is an EDC knife and it's going to get used and abused, and I want to be able to just use it without, oh, my knife blade got scratched. It's gonna get scratched, and it's gonna get worn in and worn down and sharpened and all that stuff. So, Zero Blade Play, you gotta say something about that. After having this knife for a little bit of time, you can't hear it because maybe I have to bring it to my mic. So that is me just rocking from spine to blade edge. That was much less when I first got the knife. When you go back and forth this way, there's no blade play at all. But spine to blade edge, there is a little blade play, and that developed over use. But you can just go right inside here and adjust that out. Tons of videos on how to do that, so no worries. And actually, the extra blade play will allow for better use when it gets dirty. So, why am I talking about this knife? Well, because I was like, you know, I recently also did a video on the, I don't have it anymore because I sold it to my brother, the Axial Shift Gen 3. And that knife is wonderful. And the one thing that I really liked about that was the blade shape. That leads me into what? I can't even ring my bell. There. Leads me into what you've been waiting for maybe this whole time. The new knife. Shut up, dude. Just show us the new knife. Well, it's not new to the market. It's new to me. This is more new to the market than this is. But I went through, you know, the knife world, and I was trying to find actually a knife for EDC with a good blade, useful blade, and it had to be at a certain dollar amount. That dollar amount was approximately $400. The reason I'm sitting at $400, before I open this up, I'm going to have to make you listen to me. $400 is because recently, underneath my brother's advisement and wishes, he asked me to get the Excalibur, which is made by the YouTube guy, Metal Complex, and it's made by OEM Kunwu. That is taking some time to get here, but that's on its way, and that was what I had to try to do. Is I had to try to get a $400 American-made EDC knife that I'd want to use more than that Excalibur, because the Excalibur is going to my brother. It's not going to be an EDC knife. I'm going to unbox it for you guys and show it to you, and hopefully love it for a little bit and then send it off to him. Without further ado, let me show you what's in here. So, MICROTECH box, normal. If you've never seen one, this is how they come. Little band around the booklet, and if you take the booklet out, the new ones are coming with a sticker in there, so be careful so it doesn't fall out on you. And it's good to save those. If you ever resell the knife, you want to sell the knife with the sticker, and that's part of the whole joy of getting a new knife. But also, if you had no intentions of selling the knife ever, stick the sticker. Promote what the thing that you just bought, you know, put the sticker on your car or something. Okay, now you guys saw what this was. So this is inside the knife here. You cannot remove those four fasteners. Don't do that. It'll void the warranty. They're probably loaded with Loctite too, and they will know that those have been removed if you do any damages and try to send it back. Don't do it. Just don't. So here we go. Gotta love the caution, sharp edge, and inspected by a human being. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I already opened up the box and customized this knife a little bit because I wanted to, and I put a pull tab on it because I wanted to matchy-matchy with this one. So here it is. Look at that. I got the same finish as the ZBT. Now, what you notice right away is one's darker than the other. This one here is darker, and it looks like the grain is a little finer. Like you can see the grain in the aluminum a little more. So again, no finish on either of these, so they should take scratches pretty well and abuse very well. The reason I went with this one is, I don't know if you were paying attention, but I had that axial shift, and the axial shift had a very useful blade shape. There you go. Wharncliffe to me for EDC is, I think, highly, highly functional. And I want my EDC to be an OTF. I live in OTF world. I live in North Carolina. You know how many OTF knife companies are right around here? There's a couple, or a few. MICROTECH is here, one of the biggest, or the biggest. So, regardless of that, I didn't buy this knife because I live in North Carolina. A little bit, wanted to support MICROTECH, but I gave the knife world a chance. I searched high and low for that dollar amount. Now, I found some $450 or $500 American-made, like Spartan Harzies and other cool knives made in the United States. But I had a stipulation with that. The knife could not be put together with, say, the pivot could not be a flathead screwdriver. And some of those expensive knives just have a flathead screwdriver as the pivot. I do not like that. And the striders. Don't get me started on the striders. I'm a bike guy. The striders are put together with chainring bolts from a bicycle. That bothers me so much about an $800 knife. I'm just ranting a little bit. But, you know, flathead screwdriver over here, and that's no. So I was like, okay, that was a stipulation on my search. It can't, the American-made, well-made knife at that dollar amount cannot have a flathead screwdriver for the pivot. and it cannot have a chain ring bolt holding it together. So that's what brought me back to MICROTECH actually. I was like, okay, so dollar amount. I kept on going back there and seeing this cipher. This is the Cypher Gen 2, and it has some changes over the first one. I'm not going to go over all of them. There's so many videos of that. I'm not going to regurgitate it all. But this one has some cool EDC highly functional jimping. It has EDC highly functional, of course, the crud cutting action there, and also the dual fuel, which makes the action very easy. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have it right here. Here's the Guardian. It's not as easy as the Guardian. It's just not. I'm telling you right now. Trust me. If you don't believe me, go watch Metal Complex video. He just did one of the videos on the Recon 035. Metal Complex says the same thing. He agrees. I agree. This with this new paddle switch, whatever you want to call it, on top, riding on that polished surface with the 3 bearings, like ceramic bearings underneath, make this thing run incredible. It does have a, here, I'll put it up to my mic. It does have a twang. So if you don't like the twang, you know, that really bothers you, then don't get the knife. The Glycon actually has a ring to it too. I'm trying not to kill myself, put this next to my mic. It's got a ring when you do it. So Glycon kind of has a ring. This kind of has a ring. But this does not have a ring, because when the blade's firing out, it's coming into the pressure point and keeping that ZBT is starting to work. So fire it out and it's just a thunk. I'll put it up to the mic. It's just like a dead thunk. No ring. There's a little more of a hollow ring when you would close it, because that ZBT is not active down here. So 2 different sounds in this knife between opening and closing. When we come over to this one, I was like, is this going to ring? And no, it's solid. And that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted no ringing in there, just for my own personal, I'm spending this much money, don't want my knife to ring. Kind of a little disappointed that the Glycon rings like that, but I love it anyway, it doesn't matter. This one here, I was really curious, and absolutely no ringing. Put it up to the mic. It's just got, when you bring the knife back in, you can hear the spring kind of a little twang, but no ringing. So this has also got the ball. Now, one thing I have to point out between these 2 knives, for you, any of you guys that are shopping, looking and comparing, this clip on this one with this carved out section there, I do believe that is allowing this clip to be more flexible. The balls are the same size, they look to be different, but they're the same size. This clip here is sort of like the Glycon clip, and the Glycon clip actually is very flexible, and the shape of it is very, very good, and it slides in and out of the pocket very well. This one here is rigid. It doesn't, I can't even flex that up, but it does slide into the pocket very, very, it's tough to slide in there, but it's not going anywhere. And you do not want this to go anywhere, because it's not cheap. So there's some good and there's some bad to the whole, you know, it's hard to get that in and out of things. But I'm going to take it with a grain of salt and say I don't want to lose my knife. And I'm going to show you. I usually carry my knives in here all winter long because I wear pants and a belt. In the summertime, I'm walking around like a normal human being and carrying them in my pocket. So again, with the EDC, the Cypher, this thing is not that heavy. It's actually 3.95 ounces. So sub 4 ounces, that's really good for an EDC knife. It's got some weight to it, but it's not going to pull your pants down. So back over here, I'm going to show you over here. You can't just shove it in there. Like it won't really go. And this is about as thick as jeans or anything. So it's a good example. If I really force it hard, see, it went. And that's what I'm talking about. It's going to hold your knife. Your knife is not going to go anywhere. And yeah, it might be a little tough to get in and out. So that's why I put a pull on it, is so I can just grab it and pull it out. And it will slide in and out of your pocket because the ball is the only thing that's touching the fabric. So think of that. So once the ball gets over the hump of whatever it is, your jeans, then you're just sliding on that smooth ceramic or carbide ball. Carbide here and tungsten glass breaker over here. And look, isn't that cool? See, they took the detail of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little scalps over here, and they put them back here. And this looks like it's like a backspacer kind of. Like you can change this out. I don't know. We'll have to see when I take it apart. Here's the other cool thing that leads me right to another reason that this is a great choice for an EDC knife. There's no hardware except for this one T30 back here. You take that T30 out, and all you do is you take this top plate right here and you slide it forward, and it disengages and will come off, and then you can go in there and clean debris and lube up and do all the cool maintenance stuff without the proprietary old screws where you needed the special wrench. They went away from that, which is really neat. They did it over, even back here with the Glycon, we have the T30 and then we have T8s all the way around. So I think they're T8s. Yeah, I think that's a T8. All the way around on here too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing on this side, so there's only really 5 screws to take this apart. Not a really big deal, but 5 chances at stripping your screws in maintenance. So just be careful, get the right bit, and be careful when you take these out. Put pressure on them so you do not mar them. Back to this puppy. Before I bore you guys all to death, I'm going to let you go. I just want to give you a cool visual on this knife and show you. Let's compare between the two, because we know you're dying. Put the two next to each other, dude. Shut up. All right, I'm putting the two next to each other. I'm shutting up. Okay, just going to go around them. You guys can check them out. You're still talking. Shut up. All right, all right. Now I'm talking to myself. See, I have no one to talk about knives to, so I'm talking to you guys, all right? Now, that embossed logo up there, I like it. Some people don't like it. I like it a lot better. A lot. I like it a lot better than the painted finish or it was engraved but then painted white. This is so much cooler looking. Look at that. It's like, it's just got depth to it, and that tells me, you know, it's worth that in the detail to take care of your customers. We want to see that. You could have done something over here. I would have been okay with that, with like a little logo over here, or something. This does have the logo here. So flip it over so y'all can read it. Look, I'm talking to y'all. So I'm not even here 3 months and I'm saying y'all. All right, so here we go. We can see the logo and the born date in USA on this pocket clip. Let's go back over and look at this one. Look, they don't have that. No born on date on this one. Just so you know, it's not up there. It's not hiding anywhere. There's no date written on this one anywhere. It might be inside. I suspect it's inside. This one, right there on the pocket clip, and that's why there is nothing, no other information on the outside of the knife. They keep it really clean, futuristic looking, and this is the Cypher 2. The old Cypher was longer, John Wick knife Cypher. This one, again, with the crud cutting action, it definitely is pretty dang smooth and will keep that dirt and debris out of there. And again, I keep on saying again, you can always go in, take that T30 out, pop that plate off there and clean it up. No problem. This one's really, really easy to maintain. That's why I got it as an EDC knife, aside from that amazing shape. And then, of course, I didn't even talk about the serrations. Now, I didn't have any knives that I used as an EDC with serration. This serration has the ability to be sharpened very easily and maintained. So I can handle doing that myself. And I thought that that'd be, you know, one thing that you cannot cut with just a normal blade is any kind of wood. You can't saw through anything. This has the ability to saw through stuff. You need to get through like a seatbelt in like a blink of an eye. That's going to go through a seatbelt in a blink of an eye. So another cool thing to add into your EDC. It's kind of like a safety knife for me. And that's another thing I want to touch on just before we go anywhere. Say you're using your knife or working on something. You got your hands all busy and you're doing this thing and over here and you need your knife and you go bang. So you use your knife and you go snip and you can do it like that. So on a folding knife now you're right here at this point and you have to back out and you have to put the blade back in with some kind of action, right? You know that. With this one, you can just pop the blade back in and go back to working with your other hand and tuck the blade, the knife in your hand. See, it's in there and I'm working. That to me is one of the best reasons that I will use an OTF as an EDC knife. It's simply because I do that all the time. I'll be doing something, I'll be doing something like, I don't know, something with twisting, or I need to get a cut on that. So I'll be able to just take this out and then do my little cut or whatever, put this back in, and then come back over here and then do what I need to do. If you get my drift with that, you can't do that with a normal pocket knife. You need to back up, you need to do the little thing, you need to do the access, you need to let the blade fall. This, in, out, away from your hands. Okay, I'm going to do a full-on video on why OTFs are the safest knives in the industry. So check that one out, it's coming soon. Please like and subscribe, guys, if you want more from me on this subject and other EDC things. I'm going to do this whole buyer's guide on all these new flashlights. So that's coming in a day or so. So look out for that one. And I hope you enjoyed what I showed you today. Take care. Have a good one.